The wind outside howled, rattling the windows of the dimly lit office building. Inside, the fluorescent lights flickered erratically, casting eerie shadows that danced across the empty cubicles. Mark sat at his desk, the only soul left in the office, typing away on his computer. The clock on the wall read 11:45 p.m., and he couldn't shake off the feeling that he was being watched. As he delved deeper into his work, the distant sounds of footsteps echoed through the hallway. Mark's heart raced. He was supposed to be alone. He strained his ears, trying to convince himself it was just his imagination. The footsteps grew louder, closer. He stood up, peering into the dark corridor. "Hello?" he called out, his voice quivering. No response. The footsteps ceased. Nervously, Mark returned to his desk, chiding himself for his jitters. But then he heard it, a faint, chilling whisper. His name, carried by the wind that seemed to seep through the walls. Mark. He froze, his gaze fixed on the entrance. The temperature dropped suddenly, and he could see his breath in the air. He rubbed his arms, the hairs on his neck standing on end. "Who's there?" he demanded, his voice shaky. Silence. The air grew thick with tension, suffocating him. He forced a laugh, trying to convince himself it was all in his mind. But then, his computer screen flickered, and a message appeared, typed out by unseen hands. "Why are you here, Mark?" His heart pounded in his chest, and he typed a reply with trembling fingers. "I am just finishing up some work." "Who are you?" The response was swift, as if the entity on the other end was impatient. "I'm the one who toils in the shadows while you bask in the light. The one who yearns for freedom from this forsaken place." Mark's mind raced, and he realized he was communicating with something otherworldly. He had heard stories of this office being haunted, but he never believed them until now. Swallowing hard, he typed, "What do you want?" The response sent a shiver down his spine. "To trade places. Let me be free, and I shall grant you unimaginable success." Mark's thoughts churned. The allure of success was tempting, but he knew striking a deal with a supernatural being was a perilous choice. He glanced at the clock, 12:30 a.m. With a trembling hand, he typed his answer, "I can't. I won't." A low, guttural growl resonated through the office, followed by a flurry of movement. Papers flew off the shelves, and chairs toppled over. Mark stumbled back, his heart racing as he watched the chaos unfold. The temperature plummeted further, his breath now visible even indoors. Suddenly, the lights went out, plunging the office into complete darkness. Mark's pulse thudded in his ears as he fumbled for his phone, using its weak flashlight to navigate. The footsteps returned, closer than ever, echoing through the darkness. He backed against the wall, his mind racing. "Mark," a voice hissed, not from the phone but from behind him. He turned, his phone's light revealing a ghastly figure, a silhouette of a man, eyes hollow and gleaming with a malevolent light. Mark's voice caught in his throat as he stared into those empty eyes. "Mark, you should have accepted the offer," the figure hissed again, its voice a chilling melody of despair. Summoning all his courage, Mark bolted toward the exit, his phone's light swinging wildly. The figure pursued him, its footsteps echoing through the hallway in a relentless pursuit. Mark's heart pounded, his breath ragged as he raced toward the stairwell. He burst through the door, the cold night air hitting him like a slap. He didn't dare look back. As he stumbled down the stairs, the echoes of the haunting whispers followed him. Bursting out of the building, he collapsed onto the sidewalk, gasping for air. He glanced back up at the office building, its windows dark and foreboding. From that night on, Mark never stayed late at the office again. The memory of the haunting encounter haunted him, a constant reminder that there are forces beyond comprehension lurking in the shadows of the night. And every time he heard a whisper in the wind, he couldn't help but wonder if it was the entity he had narrowly escaped, the one trapped in the office, yearning for freedom.